She sat on the cold tile of the bathroom floor, her knees pulled tight against her chest. The water in the bathtub was still running, overflowing the edges and soaking through her socks. She didn't turn it off. She needed the noise. "Sarah, open the door! I know he's in there with you!" Her brother's voice was muffled through the heavy wood. He was pounding his fists against the frame. The wood splintered slightly with every strike. "Sarah, please! I'm here to protect you!" Sarah looked down at her hands. They were shaking so violently she could barely hold the object she had found in his coat pocket. It was a cheap, black burner phone. The screen was still glowing.
He's lying. He's been lying the whole time.
The screen displayed a chat interface. The profile name at the top read Marshall. The last message sent, just 3 minutes ago, was, "I am already inside." What investigators would later piece together began exactly 3 weeks earlier. On a Tuesday morning, Sarah performed her routine. It was a routine born of necessity, or at least what she believed was necessity. She lived alone in a third-floor apartment in Elko, Nevada. The walls were painted a sterile white. The windows were permanently covered by heavy blackout curtains. She walked to the front door.
Top lock. Middle lock. Bottom lock. Chain.
She touched each one, ensuring the metal was cold and unyielding. She had done this 1,000 times before. It was the kind of thing nobody thought twice about if they knew her.
In the kitchen, she filled the sink with hot water and added exactly 1/4 cup of bleach. She submerged the apples and carrots she had ordered through a delivery service. She didn't trust the outside world. She didn't trust the dirt, the bacteria, the hands that had touched her food. Her only connection to the outside world was her computer. She worked as a virtual assistant, typing quietly in the corner of her bedroom. She liked the distance. She liked the screen between her and humanity. And she liked Marshall. They had met on a messaging board 4 years ago. They talked every day. He was charming, patient, and most importantly, he lived 2,000 miles away. He was safe. He never pushes me. He understands why I can't go outside.
The only physical human contact Sarah had was her older brother, James.
James visited every Sunday. He would park his bright red Lamborghini Aventador on the cracked pavement outside her building. It was a car he couldn't afford on his salary as a mid-level manager, but Sarah never asked questions about money. When their parents died in a car crash 2 years prior, they had left the entire estate in a trust for Sarah. They knew James had a gambling problem. They knew he was reckless. James knocked on the door. 3 quick taps, a pause, then 2 more. Their secret knock.
Who is it?
"It's me, kiddo. Brought your favorite." Sarah undid the locks. Top, middle, bottom, chain. James stepped inside, carrying a brown paper bag. He smiled. He was wearing a tailored suit. He looked perfectly normal. "You're looking pale, Sarah. Have you opened a window at all this week?"
I'm fine, James. The air quality is bad today anyway.
James set the groceries on the counter. He noticed the bleach in the sink. He noticed the way she stood 3 feet away from him. "You know, I worry about you. Living like this, it isn't healthy. You're isolating yourself."
He's just being a good brother. He's the only one who cares. I have my work, and I have Marshall.
James paused. His back was to her as he unpacked a carton of milk. "Right. The internet boyfriend. You still haven't met him, have you?"
He's busy. And I'm not ready.
"Just be careful, Sarah. You don't really know who is on the other side of that screen."
People can be anyone they want to be online. He turned around and smiled. It was a warm, protective smile. But hey, That's what big brothers are for, right? I'll always look out for you. The escalation began on a Thursday evening. Sarah was sitting at her desk. The apartment was completely silent. A notification popped up on her screen. It was Marshall.
Just finished work. Did you miss me?
She watched the typing indicator bubble appear. It stayed there for a long time. Then, the message arrived. I did. I missed you very much. I think it's time we finally met. Sarah's stomach tightened. They had discussed this before. He knew her boundaries.
Why is he pushing this now? He knows I can't.
I don't think now is the best time. Work is really busy.
The typing bubble appeared again. This time, the response was immediate. Don't think I'm crazy, but I tracked your IP. I know where you live, Sarah. Westfall Apartments in Elko. I am coming to see you. I need to see you. The cold she felt had nothing to do with the temperature of the room.
No.
She slammed the laptop shut. Her breathing went shallow. She backed away from the desk until her spine hit the wall.
He knows where I live. He's coming here.
She grabbed her phone and dialed the only person she trusted.
Hello?
James, you have to come over. Please. He knows where I live. Marshall knows where I live.
James arrived 20 minutes later. He found Sarah in the kitchen, hyperventilating, clutching a kitchen knife. Hey, put the knife down. I'm here. You're safe. He gently took the weapon from her trembling hands.
He tracked me, James. He said he's coming. What if he's already outside?
Listen to me. I won't let anyone hurt you. We're going to secure this place, okay? For the next 2 hours, James helped Sarah board up the windows. He had brought a hammer and thick wooden planks from his trunk. He said he had them left over from a renovation.
I didn't even ask why he had wooden nails in his expensive car. I was just grateful.
As James hammered the last nail into the bedroom window, a sudden, sharp knock echoed from the front door. Sarah froze. The hammer in James's hand stopped mid-air.
He's here.
Stay in the bedroom. Lock the door. I'll handle this. Sarah locked herself in the bedroom. She pressed her ear against the thin wood. She heard James unlock the deadbolts. She heard the door creak open. Evening, sir. Con Edison. We're getting some abnormal current readings from this unit. Need to check the fuse box. Not a good time. My sister is sick. We don't need any maintenance right now. Sir, it's a fire hazard. I really need to just take a quick look. I said we're fine. Step away from the door before I call the police. The door slammed shut. The locks clicked back into place. James knocked softly on the bedroom door. It's okay, Sarah. It was just a guy claiming to be from the electric company, but he didn't have a badge. I think it was him. I think it was Marshall trying to trick his way inside. Sarah collapsed onto her bed, sobbing into her hands.
Thank you, James. Thank you. I don't know what I would do without you.
You'll never have to find out. I'm gonna sleep on the couch tonight. Nobody is getting past me. The truth did not arrive with a dramatic confrontation. It arrived in the dead of night, in absolute silence. It was 3:14 a.m. Sarah couldn't sleep. Her throat was parched. She crept out of her bedroom, her bare feet making no sound on the hardwood floor. The living room was dark. James was asleep on the couch, his breathing deep and even. His suit jacket was draped over the back of a dining chair.
I should check his pockets, just to see if he brought his gun. If Marshall breaks in, I need to know where the weapon is.
She reached into the dark fabric of the jacket. Her fingers brushed against something hard and rectangular. It wasn't a gun. It was a phone. But James's actual phone, an expensive smartphone, was charging on the kitchen counter.
Why does he have a cheap burner phone?
She pulled it out. She pressed the home button. The screen illuminated her pale face in the dark room. There was no passcode. The phone opened directly to a messaging app. Sarah stared at the screen. She read it twice. She put the phone down on the table. She picked it up again.
No. No, that's impossible.
The profile name at the top of the screen was Marshall. Below it was the entire chat history. 4 years of conversations. Her deepest secrets. Her fears. The message from Thursday. I know where you live, Sarah. Her throat closed. The air in the room suddenly felt too thick to breathe. Every piece had been there. None of it had seemed connected. James always knew when she was online. James knew exactly what to say to make her feel isolated. James had the wooden planks ready in his trunk because he planned to board up the windows.
He wanted me to board myself in. He wanted me to be completely cut off.
And the man at the door, the utility worker.
He wasn't Marshall. Marshall doesn't exist. The worker was just a worker. James turned him away so there would be no witnesses.
The trust fund, the inheritance, the red Lamborghini he couldn't afford.
If I kill myself because of extreme paranoia, he gets everything. He's the sole beneficiary.
A floorboard creaked behind her. Sarah didn't turn around. She slowly backed away, clutching the burner phone. Her eyes fixed on the dark shape rising from the couch. You shouldn't be awake, Sarah. His voice was different now. The warmth was gone. It was flat, clinical.
Stay away from me!
She bolted for the bathroom. She slammed the door and locked it just as James's weight hit the wood from the other side. Sarah! Open the door! I know he's in there with you! He was playing the part. Even now, he was building his alibi. The concerned brother trying to save his delusional sister from an imaginary threat. Sarah, please, I'm here to protect you. Sarah sat on the cold tile. She turned on the bathtub faucet. She didn't want to hear his voice anymore. The police arrived at 4:30 a.m., called by a neighbor who heard the screaming. When they broke down the apartment door, they found James sitting on the floor, weeping, holding his head in his hands. He told the officers his sister had suffered a severe psychotic break. He said she believed an internet stalker was inside the walls. They found Sarah in the bathroom. She was catatonic, clutching a cheap black phone that had been completely smashed. The screen was shattered beyond repair. The evidence was gone. She couldn't speak. Her mind, already fragile, had shattered alongside the glass. James was never charged with a crime. There was no physical evidence of his psychological manipulation. 3 weeks later, a judge deemed Sarah mentally unfit to manage her own affairs. James was granted full power of attorney over her estate. He sold the apartment the following month. Sarah currently resides in a long-term psychiatric care facility in Reno. James visits her every Sunday. He always brings her favorite apples, carefully washed in bleach.